All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. It's September 5th. We're post NFP. Killer action post NFP. Who caught an NFP trade post NFP? Not the gamblers. Post NFP. Who caught a post NFP play? Let me know in the chat. We had it's not always that clean, but my goodness, we had a textbook setup right there at the 23,800 level of interest. You got to get that long. You got to get that pullback into the level of interest, take it into the highs. We bagged about 80 points there total. You can see the final exit, that trail out up near 23,880. That pretty much makes the day, honestly. Not much else I need to do here. So we'll see what when you catch a move like that, you have the luxury of being able to stay extra patient for the rest of the session. We don't need to force anything. We don't need to feel any pressure to put any points on the board, right? We can just chill. We can just chill, wait for that A plus setup to really materialize, to really show itself. And if it's not quite there, we don't have to take it. And the goal now is just to protect the profits that we've locked in so far. 80 points, right? Phenomenal. So looking at that setup, post data, you get the nice push up and through the 23,800 level of interest and just a very orderly and clean pullback right into my level. I love the levels of interest. We have the benefit of the 38% fib right in that area as well. So I'm mostly focused on the level, but I like to see the fib right through there, signal bars there. We take the long stop just right below the low, right? Pretty simple, pretty basic stuff here. And initially we're targeting this area right through here. And then after that, we're just going to trail. We're just going to keep riding and trail. So, very basic setup. What is the significance of the 800? Well, look at your higher time frame chart. We're right here, 23,800. That's last week's high. That's a level of interest. What I mentioned in the pre market prep notes this morning is that if we see buyers show some acceptance above 800, it's pretty clear, pretty open up until all-time high, right? So we're probably going to see an open here right in no man's land. It's my least favorite area, but the higher time frame target here is up into 24K. So let's see what this open looks like. Likely for me gonna be a morning of patience here, especially after that pre-market trade. I know a number of you in the traders think tank caught that thing. That's a classic one we discuss in the trading mentorship group quite frequently. Can usually find some pretty good setups following that tier one data print, red folder news, whatever you want to call it. Those bigger prints usually going to be pretty solid. So let's see this open right now. Like I said, we're opening in no man's land. My focus is 23,800 and really the move that is already underway. This is the move that is already underway, right? We're going up through last week's high, up through that most recent pivot, up into 24K. 1 minute till the open. Let's see what we're working with here. I'm in no rush off the open, tell you that. I don't think we have any 10 a.m. prints or anything, so at least not that I saw. There's your open. It's your RTH open. Up into the overnight high. Little look above the overnight high. We got ES into all-time highs. Look at this volume off the open. Massive volume. Mallorca, what are you saying about Mallorca, Ray? I was in Mallorca last year. It's beautiful there. Oh, you're there right now? Amazing. Man, what are you doing trading? Jeez. Go enjoy. Well, I appreciate that. You're in Mallorca and tuning into the stream. Wow. We must put on a good show here. That's great. That's great. NQ session volume point of control shifted up into 883. Are you in Palma? Are you staying in Palma? If you are, go to Ambu for dinner. That place is amazing. Really good restaurant. Yeah, if you can slide by Ambu for dinner, it's right there in Palma. Phenomenal spot. Highly recommend. Not Nobu. Similar spelling. OMBU. RTY up through overnight high. We'll see how this morning develops. That little look above the overnight high is being sold into. Is that volume already tapering down? Throw that fib back out there. Let's see what we're looking at here for the NFP move. There's your 38%. 38% fib retrace. You got the fib buy zone down there near 23,800. FBZ. Chrissy in the overnight high up thrust. That was nice. That was nice, Chrissy. That was a nice little up thrust. I'll give you that. We're waiting for your post and trade review, man. When's it coming? We want to see. What has the Chrissy been trading? Is he still getting caught up in Chrissy traps? I don't think so. But let us know, man. We're getting down into that 50% fib. You have VWAP right through there. So this 800 area is on watch. NFP showed very low numbers. How did you take along? What were the numbers? I didn't see the numbers. Why would I care about that? I trade price action, not fundamental analysis. I'll leave that to the Wharton and Harvard grads. That's outside of my pay grade there. Economic analysis. Seriously, I did not see the numbers. 3.2 GPA. That's being generous there. That's being generous, Chrissy. Thank you. Appreciate that. $2.3. Yeah, Sushi Friday, Ray. 100%. Sushi Friday. Numbers give you more conviction in your technical plays. I like that. It's a solid approach. Yeah, I stopped caring. I guess when did I stop caring about numbers? When it originated from the options days when I would see like a stock beat top and bottom line and then it moves 10% lower. You start to see stuff like that and you're just like, I don't know what's going on here. Let me just follow some price action. NQ, dang, almost into that 800 area. Buyer's already stepping in again. Nothing for me there. Would have liked a little bit lower. There's session volume point of control. Yeah, these are those situations that are a little bit trickier. When it's not quite into your area. Do you go for it or not? In this case, for me, no. Like I said before the stream, we have the luxury of being able to wait for a true A plus opportunity now. I don't want to eat this additional risk, so pass on that. Bot caught the long, nice. Love to hear it. I had to turn off the notifications I had on us too. Found it to be a little too distracting. So let's check it out end of day now. Thing with automation is you got to let the law of large numbers pan out. I mean, it's just like discretionary trading, but the temptation to tinker with automation or to mess with it or things like that is at least for me, it's really high. As like a discretionary trader of 10 years, but you can't do that. That's not the purpose of automation. You just gotta let it do its thing, let it work. Revisit in a month, revisit in 2 months. So we got some pretty good volume here. NQ back in a session volume point of control up there at 880. Potentially a little lower high here. Should be in the weeds, so I'm confident all the tech works. Yeah, that's why I saw your comment on the FAQ about the Tradovate API. You're not going to need the Tradovate API, by the way. And you can just use a Tradovate paper account, but that's the purpose of setting it up on a paper account for the first couple of weeks so we can verify connections are correct and everything like that. And then from there, it's super easy to transfer into either a prop account or live, or, kind of whichever direction you want to go with it. Looks like ES making a session low. Staying patient right now. Not much to do here. I'll keep an eye on the 800 area if it wants to trade again. But if you're joining us late, we had that pre-market long from 800, from 23,800, about 80 points there. So not in a huge rush as of right now. See how the intraday structure builds out. Let's get an update on our higher time frames. Now it's D-Wall's turn. I haven't seen D-Wall all week, man. Where's D-Wall been? I haven't seen Dom or D-Wall. I have to do a wellness check. Rage over there trading YM. Held support and lost communication. uh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't like that support being held. See if the highs are going to be tested here. Current high is 902. Looks like it coming into overnight high. Got about 8 minutes till 10 a.m. Yeah, sellers back in right there. The old 9 hundo. No trades in RTH for me personally. Staying patient, more than likely will be at least waiting till 10 a.m. Nice uptick in volume. How we doing so far? Only setup I've seen is the overnight high up thrust. Case could be made for this reversal down here, but the location is kind of sucks. Subpar. Cash green, cash flat. Solid. ES made a new low of day. What's up, Chad? Green. Nice work, man. Choppy, yeah, pretty choppy. Pretty choppy. Patience, absolutely key right now. We've got good volume, so see how it continues to build. So the focus right now remains on 800, this area right down here. Buyers really have a big interest in defending that as support. Continue to hold this point. Now, if this area fails, you may see a pretty significant rejection here. So 800 remains key. Chop City and no man's land where money goes to die. Yes, sir. Spot on right there. I want to see this 30-minute closure. I need to upgrade my office chair. What's the recommendation? Who has a good chair? I've heard Herman Miller is the way to go. Jacob needs that recommendation too. Yeah, it looks like. Wow. Right, man. Yeah, it might be time for an upgrade. Stand up lazy boy rocker. I do have the standing desk. I do stand a lot of the time. NQ new low of day. It's almost into 800 right there. Let's see. It's 10 a.m. as well. Can we get an actual test of 800? Targets for APT, you should be able to enable them if you go into the settings. NQ, there's your true test of 800. So does it hold? Does it hold? You got the fib buy zone right in this area. Let's see. Structures are pretty wide. A little bit of a lift there from 800. Wouldn't mind seeing like an undercut down into that prior bounce spot and then a reclaim of 800. But remember, if 800 fails, that's a major structural point on the higher time frames. 790. Yeah, I like it, right? We're on the same page. Wait, so you didn't get that main 800 move? Sound like you were off the desk from pre-market? But you had a scalp, right? Like, I'm guessing one of the micro little structures in there. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, I saw that action in there. I'm actually kind of surprised you went for it. It didn't look super compelling. Oh, MNQ look different? Okay, gotcha. I didn't see that. So no attempts for me yet. Still just with that pre-market trade. Pre-bork it. All right, there we are, 790. Do we get a hold here? Do we get the hold, or is this going to be a bigger failure? See if we even get a signal. Not even a signal. New low of day. Short 880, nice. Still just watching this reaction here, 800 fib buy zone. It's a key area. Let's take a look at that 5-minute RTH. Yeah, so beneath 800, beneath 790, you want to be targeting that gap fill. Still a little unfilled piece through here too. From what is that, Thursday, August 28th to Friday, August 29th. Fresh lows on the day. Yeah, it doesn't look like that idea will materialize, at least so far. That 790 undercut, reclaim of 800. See if it sets up right here. ES down into prior day high. NQ, fresh lows. Yep. No setup there. No setup, no trade taken. We're ready for it. Scenario like that, I'll put like a limit buy up above 815 area, maybe even 810, but it just does not materialize. So we're still just with the one pre-market trade. At this point, I'll look for either, kind of like Ray said, action above 800 with some market structure, or the gap fill, overnight gap fill. Session volume point of control steps lower, 786. Yeah, long only. Only longs. Only longs. For about 2 years now, almost 2 years. There's value area low for the extended hour session. Got your 78% fib right through there as well. APT shorts. APT follows the 2-hour trader framework. THT. Getting down into that NFP low. 725, 7255. Where's that prior day close? Right there with the overnight low. Prior day high as well. ES coming into overnight low, which is the NFP low as well. RTY coming in prior day high. So this should be an interesting area here. 725 down into pretty much 690. Like this. Look at the volume, really good volume. There's your little look beneath NFP low. Still cash for RTH. ES through the overnight low. Yeah, selling just accelerating now. Once that 800 failed. Yep. There's prior day high. So a few reference points here. You got the gap fill with prior day close, overnight low, prior day high. This little confluence of reference points fails. Do you want to look for 650? It's not that much lower at this point. 50 yointers. 50 yoints. A little bit of a bounce right there. A little bounce-ola. A little bounce-ola. What do we call that down there? Let's reset the fib. Get some retracements going. Was that the shallow? Yeah, pretty much into the shallow. Oops. There we go. So this is going to be an interesting spot here. Yeah, it's big target for the shorts, right? Agreed. Sellers right back into it at the shallow fib. Pretty much NFP low. So you get a little bounce there. More than likely some short covering. There's your new low of day. So now you go for 650. 650, quick into 650. Robin's Cup, that's the competition, right? I don't know too much about it. I think it's like an annual thing. So NQ, just to update our higher time frames. Remember we talked about if 800 fails to hold, you're going to see a big and fast move. Take a look. Pretty quick into 650, aren't we? Look at the shape of that daily candle as well. Major exhaustion there. The day is still young, so a lot can happen, but it's your daily candle over here, far right. We're coming into 10:30. I'll keep an eye on 650 here. See if we get any clues for a reversal. I've not taken a trade during RTH. We did the pre-market long. It's really working hard to protect the 80 points from pre-market. Do not want to give that back on a Friday. I'm just staying patient right now. Especially considering I like to long and sellers are in control of this tape. All right, here comes our true test of 650. Good volume this morning. Not all that surprising with NFP, red folder, tier 1 news. And just slices right through 650 there. So let's see how this aligns with the new 30-minute bar opening in 3 minutes. If we don't see any sort of bid here around 10:30, I'll probably call it a morning. As the expectation would be for continued weakness. There you go. There's a little bid. Good spot for it. If you have any shorts from higher, it's not a bad spot to cover some risk, if you ask me. $650 is a level of interest. Higher time frame analysis. And NQ just right into the lows there. So again, I'll look to see if we get any sort of response here from buyers around 10:30, and then we'll just call it a morning personally. Yeah, absolutely. Context for higher time frame confirmation, 100%. You got a big once that 800 level failed. Yep. Flush Friday, absolutely. Absolutely. So what I'm watching right now is just that 5-minute bar down here near 650. Next 30-minute candle starting up here in a few seconds. Oh, 5-minute shows almost a doji. It's been what, 30 minutes since we've seen a green 5-minute closure. Look at all the red 5-minute bars there. Good volume in this area. So let's see this next 5-minute closure. And the idea is our buyer's going to step in with any interest here. It's kind of the thought. So far, not really. I mean, the selling had notice how the selling has subsided a bit. Like prices definitely trading more sideways, but there's no bounce yet. There's definitely no bounce yet. If we mark a fresh low here and see some sustained lows post 10:30, that'll be pretty much my main clue to shut it down. We'll call it a day with the one trade. 5 minute closes in 1 minute. So a 5 minute hammer down here would be helpful for the bounce idea. It's just like a cascade lower. Once that 800 failed, you can see, even looking at the 5 minute, you can see an attempt from buyers right there with the tail on that 5 minute bar. And then it's just like, nope, it really opens up. There's a little bit of short covering. You can see it in that wick once the gap filled. There's D-Wall in the think tank chat. We summoned him. There's your fresh lows. Yeah, those higher time frame failures can give some very, very big moves. That's why I focus heavily on higher time frame charts. Just giving this another couple minutes. No entry yet. Don't want to be the first one in there. Don't want to catch a falling knife. Learned that one the hard way too many times. The volume, though. Volume's so good. Volume's beautiful. And fresh lows being made there. Those definitely looked like buyers were showing some attempts to absorb. That's why I don't want to be the first one in. Let some other market participants mark the low, and then once you actually have the bounce confirmed, that higher time frame context, at least with a green 5-minute close, then I'll join in. But the selling continues. So I'll take a look way down at 500, potentially with some prop accounts if we get down there. Otherwise, it's either 500 or wait for some intraday change of character or some 15 or 30-minute reversal signal. That is a wrap. That is a wrap for my Friday. Only trade today was during pre-market. Hope you guys had a good morning. Hope you guys had a good week. We'll keep it going in the think tank here. We've got good volume. We've got really good volume. So keep an eye on those higher time frame levels of interest. Thanks for your time. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday.